You see, in a sense, all Jewish brides were abducted. They were snatched away. They were caught up or caught away. Can you imagine, young ladies that are unmarried, can you imagine what a thrill it was for her? Here is this man who is dear and precious to her, for whom she has been preparing herself. This man has paid an incredible bride's price to purchase her. He has given her gifts, ensuring that he will return. And in the middle of the night, there goes out the cry, "Behold, the bridegroom comes." And she's carried off into the night, not by some stranger, but by a man with whom she is deeply and profoundly in love, and who loves her. You see that? He had paid a price. He had entered into an unbreakable covenant. And now the time of their union is at hand. Having claimed the bride, the groom's party would return to the bridal chamber. He would return to this place, to this room, to this place where he had built under the supervision of his father, and he would bring his bride back to that bridal chamber. And that's where the nuptials themselves would begin to take place. That's where the bride was taken by the groom, and their union was consummated within that chamber. When the union was consummated, the groom would communicate to his groomsmen standing outside the door that the marriage union was now consummated. And the groomsmen would then announce to the wedding party that it had been consummated. And 7 days of festivity would take place. They would begin to feast and to rejoice and to play music and to dance, and it was a great celebration. But during these 7 days, the bride and the groom remained sequestered in the bridal chamber. Keeping in mind that this bride has worn a veil for all of these months leading up to this point. She wore a veil as she departed to go with her bridegroom. She's veiled. There may be some in the party that don't even know exactly who she is. But after the 7 days in this bridal chamber with her groom, sometimes called the 7 days of the chuppah, the bride and groom emerge, and the bride is now unveiled in all of her glory, and all of her splendor, and all of her beauty for everyone to see. And following this 7 days of feasting and their rejoining the wedding party, this couple would then live together as one for the remainder of their days. So the taking of the bride, this is your last bullet point, usually took place at night. There was always that element of surprise. She would be whisked away by her groom to the bridal chamber that had been prepared, and there their union would be consummated. There would be 7 days of feasting, and at the end of that 7 days, the bride and the groom would emerge with the bride unveiled in all of her glory to be displayed. And I, John, saw the heavenly city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven as a bride adorned for her husband. You see, guys, next week we'll see in the New Testament that the New Testament is heavily and consistently weighted with this betrothal and marriage union language. In fact, just as the Old Testament is a story of God calling out and choosing Israel to be His bride, so the New Testament is the story of Christ calling out the church to be His bride. The marriage union is yet another metanarrative that binds literally the entire Word of God together. There are tremendous lessons to be learned from this. When we see the extraordinary intimacy that is ours with Christ in this marriage union, our hearts will be made and caused to rise up in fresh dimensions of love and praise and adoration of Him. So don't miss next week. Thank you for your attention this morning. May God bless His word to our hearts.